wait. So, see, there's a contradiction in a way, because they were happy to talk to you. Obviously, they want their anonymity. Obviously, they want to brag a little about their exploits and the things that they've done in the past, maybe the things they're still doing. But at the same time, you're saying that they, in a little way, wanted to help women. So that's going to kind of mess up the game going forward if a woman starts to apply some of the tactics that you're suggesting, isn't it? Because then they're going to be like, nah, I see you for who you are and I'm not interested.
Absolutely. That's why I say it's a game changer. I mean, I can't tell you how many women have read the book and they've realized who they've been dating for 10 years, or I will tell you this: after you read this book, it will empower you to completely understand men, and will give you the ability to recognize a good guy from a jerk before you invest too much of your time and heart. And that's what women want. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not being funny. Yes, women want that. But doesn't everybody want that? Because it does work both ways, isn't it? You don't want to waste your time with someone, especially when you're looking at them, and especially if you have a clear, set, pathway in your mind of what you want out of a relationship and where you want your life to go. So absolutely. You don't waste time, do you? Yeah, I mean, you're right. It does work both ways. But again, with men, they don't see themselves as, a lot of men are so prideful. I mean, I was one of those men too. I didn't think it was me. I thought it was women. And there are a lot of women who don't think it's them. They think it's men. And I'm trying to tell men and women, is you have to look in the mirror. You are the common denominator. You sort of got to start with yourself and then just keep working. There you go. Okay. What are some of the things that you love about being a relationship expert? The thing I love is when women finally get that aha moment, because a lot of women just don't realize what is going on or what they're doing wrong, or if they're even doing anything wrong. But it's kind of like showing somebody about working out or losing weight. They're eating right, they're exercising, but I'm showing them that, you know what, it's that ice cream that you're eating at 12 o'clock at night. That's what it is. So I give them hope, because at least they can say, okay, there's a reason why I don't have a man. Just like some people who aren't getting jobs, there's a reason why you're not getting a job. It's not that you're cursed. Your resume's not good. Right. So it's the same thing with women. It's not that you're cursed. You may have issues of abandonment from your father. It's not that you're cursed. You may have insecurity. So I'm showing them that there is a dotted line reason to why you're having a lack of success. But this is the thing about the communication thing. People have to learn to not just talk, but actually communicate and listen to what each other is saying. Because if you're trying to tell somebody something and they're not even hearing you, much less understanding you. All right, okay, maybe not even understanding you. Okay, let's start with the empathy. If they can empathize, sometimes then they'll be able to sympathize and at least be able to say, okay, I hear where you're coming from. Obviously, I may not have experienced that, but I have sympathy for you. So, let's start there, as it were, and let me see if we can go forward. Because like you just said, if somebody has those types of abandonment issues or something like those kind of things, especially if you've had a bad relationship, your last relationship or marriage was bad, those kind of things, like you said, people don't realize they could be carrying that forward into the next one, kind of thing. And and like you said, the analogy with the ice cream, I'm laughing because I'm thinking to myself, like you say, if you're eating it at 12 o'clock at night or something, you got to look in the mirror and say, I need to stop doing that, because that is I'm sort of sabotaging myself. There you go. Sabotaging my diet, sabotaging my health routine. There you go. But they don't realize what their ice cream is. They don't. Some women don't even. Some men and women don't even know that there is an ice cream to even deal with. So the flavor's nice. They like the flavor, Colin. There you go. The flavor is too good. Absolutely. So that's my job, is to point it out to them. So to answer your initial question, when they have that aha moment and they finally get it, and then I also give them hope. That's what this is all about, because everybody can find love. Finding love is not hard. It's only hard when you keep giving your heart to a man that doesn't deserve it. That's when it gets hard. Okay. Baby, baby, baby. From the day I saw you, really, really want to catch your This is Colin Tate, author of the book Is This Your Man, aka The Relationship Lifeguard. You're on listening now with the Ask Avani Show. People, I
hope you are taking note. Oh my goodness, because this is a book you have got to read. Is This Your Man by Colin Tate? You know what to do. Go out and get the book. Now, I want to ask you, can you share examples? Because we always love, the good stories, a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
Share examples of any success stories when you've helped people to be able to communicate what they want and also get the relationships that they desire.
Absolutely. So one of the things I do is I do coaching. Women can go to isthisyourman.com and they can sign up for actually a free call with me for 15 minutes, and I will actually diagnose their dating dilemma right there on the spot. So one of the things I love, like I had a young lady from Australia 2 weeks ago. She couldn't understand why she kept running into, for her in a situation, abusive men, verbally, physically, emotionally, financially abusive. And I helped her understand that the reason you keep running into abusive men is because you are also abused yourself. So these things, what I learned from interviewing these abusive men is that they could smell it on women like white on rice. I mean, they can spot you. And so these men do certain things, they do certain feelers to kind of feel you out to see if you're going to be conducive to the type of behavior he's going to dish out. And so I explained to her what he was doing, why he was doing it. But here's one thing I want every woman to know when you're dating an abusive man. They're not only are they controlling, not only are they very very abusive. The reason that they're controlling and abusive is because they are afraid that you will see the light and see the beauty that is already within you. They're afraid that once you look and see it for yourself, that you're going to leave them. So a lot of these.
But you would want to leave them anyway, isn't it? You want to leave that type of person.
Well, that's the thing. So what this type of man does, he's called the CEO, and I'll go through each man in my book when you're ready. The CEO is verbally, physically, emotionally controlling and abusive, and he targets women who usually have low self-esteem. They have abandonment issues with mother, father, or both. Or there's definitely some type of bad or tempestuous relationship with one of the parents. And so what he does is he comes in very strong. It's as if he's trying to slap 6 months worth of dating in a month. It's like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. He has no problem talking about relationships because he wants to move very quickly. Right. And once he gets you, he wants to gravitate you and pull you away from your support system. Once he pulls you away from your support system, that's when he has control, and that's when you see the real monster comes out. He doesn't want you to work. He doesn't want you to go to school. Anytime you try to better yourself, at first he's on board, but once he sees you really falling through, that's when the arguments, that's when the sabotage takes place. So it's all a form of control because he's also insecure himself.
Wow. You wouldn't think so, right?
You wouldn't think so, but he is insecure himself. So he's afraid that if you ever see the beauty that he actually sees in you, because he sees the beauty in you, he just doesn't want you to see it for yourself.
Wow. That's negativity on a grand scale.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. We have to get to those types. Trust me, we're getting there, Colin. Believe me. But I want to ask you, because I know your book focuses on what are considered like the biggest relationships of all, romantic relationships. But would you say that some of the scenarios, especially when it comes to communication skills, as we were talking about earlier, could be used in other relationships as well? Like, for example, with family and work colleagues, if people are having issues?
Absolutely. You see, what people have to understand is no one is born angry. No one is born a racist. No one is born, to just be a hateful person. It is a learned behavior. So if you see a family member that is going through something, something happened. They just didn't wake up and then boom, I'm upset. Like I talked to a lady yesterday, and she just didn't wake up and give up on her dreams to find a husband. Something happened in her life that taught her that dream that we all have, that most women have, most men have, to find companionship. Something happened that made her give up and lose sight of that dream. Right. So I'm teaching people that everything is a learned behavior, and what I'm showing a lot of the women I'm counseling is not only did they have their issues, but I'm showing them how their parents had issues, which inevitably caused them to have issues. And if they don't solve their issues, it's going to inevitably cause their children to have it. It's all a pattern.
Oh my goodness. See, people don't really think about that, isn't it? Because when you're in your own zone, you're thinking about yourself and why can't I get a husband or a wife? And it's always me, that, they don't ever think about the things that may have happened in their past, which could affect their future, which, like, as you just said, even could have happened to their parents, which is what affected their present.
Absolutely.
So it's a big, wow. So, okay, would you say then, just off the cuff, would you say that if somebody also has, for example, these types of abandonment issues, like you mentioned earlier, do you think, especially if it's a parent, that if they can, would you advise that they go and talk to that parent about it, and hopefully that kind of sort of therapy could help as well?
Yeah, so one of the things in our coaching that we do is if the parent is still alive, I recommend the person write a letter to the parent. And writing this letter isn't to get that parent to apologize, to see their side. It's to get all of this hate, anger inside of you out. Because what angers you will control you. And it's like a disease. It's just staying there. It's just staying there. Because I believe that there's seeds in our life that we water. I mean, I believe that God plants a seed in our life. Negative devil forces plant seeds in our life. We decide which seed we're going to water. So if someone had issues with their father, that seed has been watered for 20 years, and now it's a thick oak tree. And so what I'm trying to show women is when you actually write it out or sing it or yell it, it starts to lighten you up. And it's a therapeutic process. I mean, some people, it takes them weeks or a month to write this letter. You know, they're crying, they're angry, they're upset, they're sad, they're happy. But it's a very therapeutic way to start to lighten you up, because there's some women out here that are listening that men never approach them, and I can explain them, tell them why that happens later on in the show. But they're all of this. There's a reason for every situation you're having in your daily life. I tell women, if you give me 10 minutes and you tell me the complete truth, I will tell you what's going on. It won't take me long at all.
Oh my God, you're just like the guru, like, because this is the thing, ladies out there, you're gonna have to book a session with Mr. Tate, because the reason why is because it's so good that you as a man are willing to be so upfront with women, because normally women talk amongst themselves, and as you said, the guys talk amongst themselves. But if we, the opposite sexes are talking and getting the perspectives and really talking and listening to each other, that's when it's like a game changer. Like you said, it is going to open it up, so they're going to be like, okay, so this is what I wanted and this is what she wanted, and blah 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 blah, and okay, we're on the same page, or no, actually we're not on the same page, but because we were able to talk about it, and instead of getting into a relationship, having our sort of daydream, the white picket fence, as you guys call it, and all that, and it wasn't actually reciprocated, then you're thinking, well, I've wasted time, so that's going to make you angry. But I must go back to what you said about writing the letter. What happens though if when you write this letter, for example, to your parent, and what if they don't read it? Obviously if they're still alive and they don't want to read it, then what? Because you can't move forward if you can't get your issues resolved.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's not meant to solve the issue between the child and the parent. It's meant as a therapeutic thing for you to get things off. Because sometimes the parent is not even living anymore. But it's still therapeutic. It still allows them to let go of some of this hurt, let go of some of this pain, because that's dictating the men that they let in their life. I mean, men, I'm telling you, if you are unhealthy and you're the unhealthy version of yourself is driving your car of your dating life, only another unhealthy man is going to get in the car with you. That's why women who are listening, who are single, that's why they seem to run into the same situation over and over and over again, because the healthy men, they may get in the car, but they're not staying because they realize that you have issues. So only another unhealthy man is going to get in the car with you. That's the way it works.
We don't want that. You don't want unhealthy, because you're trying to drive to a healthy, living, clean, happy destination. So you don't want to pick up them. No, people, you know what to do. I mean, I can't, because I know my listeners are out there and they're thinking, oh my goodness, he just said something that is resonating with me so much. And I've been wondering why my life has not been going the way I wanted it to go. And they're wondering, as you just said, the same thing keeps happening. And they're thinking, okay, but, I want to change. How do I make the change, sort of thing? And it's like you said, you sometimes you need someone to sort of point you in the right direction, because what you've been doing, you know what they say, is insanity, isn't it? Doing the same thing over and over again.
Expecting a different result,
expecting a different result. It just ain't gonna happen, people. Okay, so you have to change lanes. You know, I mean, I've got to ask you, because I've seen posts where you've said that a lot of